Satan, we done drug your kingdom down. He was building up his old kingdom. Oh, over our church. Now I'm telling him, Satan, we done drug your kingdom down. Oh, glory, Satan, we done drug your kingdom down. Over here building up that old kingdom, all in our church. Now we're telling him, Satan, we done drug your kingdom down. And we still like living holy. Satan, we done drug your kingdom down. I love singing that song. I won't be able to sing it no more. It's over, baby. Greenleaf has come to an end. I don't know why they made it so short. I know this coronavirus interfered with things, but they had to have a plan because they could always come back. Greenleaf is over. Okay. Well, we'll get to guessing about the spinoff in a minute. First, we're going to talk about this episode. In the finale, it opens up when Mae is laying in bed with her dead husband. Now, last week she had already called the ambulance, so I think most places ambulances, 5-6 minutes. But she has in the bed with him. This is television. Then she goes and she gets all the other family members, and they're all in the bed with the dead body. Now, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm sure maybe it happens where the whole household would come together, but I ain't never seen all them people in the bed with the dead man. Anyway, family gathers. Grace receives a call from 2020 in New York City. Apparently, an old colleague of hers has been promoted and is now in charge of the department that would hire Grace, and that's what she wants to do. She wants Grace to come to New York and consider resuming her career. Remember, Grace now was an investigative reporter, just like Grace did what Darius did, except for television. So this could be her big break to resume her life. Right? Someone interrupts. She tells the lady, I got to call you back. Okay, the whole family. Okay, while they're gathered on the bed there, we hear Charity singing, but she's not actually singing at the bedside. This carries on into the next scene is the funeral, and that's where she's actually singing it. And the rest of the family is singing it, and they're putting him to rest. Only the family and on their land. This is on the property that they're burying him. I guess his, I don't know if that's not, I don't think it's Matt in there, but there's a couple of other graves there. One being the daughter who committed suicide. Okay? Okay, then Mae gets a call. Mae gets a phone call from Deacon Boards. The next in line is Deacon Boards. They didn't got rid of Connie. And they're asking Mae to come back and give a sermon about Bishop the following Sunday, right? Now, this thing I've had with the timeline all along. So now, I guess from the beginning of this season, all this is taking place in a week. The tearing down, the getting rid of him, they should have stretched this out to cover, not necessarily that we have to see it in all this time, but to at least expand it a 6 months period of time, in my opinion. Right? So we don't have no idea. They had already took the church apart. Anyway, all this has happened from the beginning of the season to now in about a week's time, as far as we can tell. All the relationship with the suicide attempt, all the relationship with Bishop, all of it is taking place in like a week and a half, right? Which I don't think is very realistic. Anyway, they want her to come back and preach. Noah and AJ get a new house, beautiful house. I mean, it's not like a mansion like the Greenleafs, but it's a very nice house. Of course, Noah, as in his soft, quiet way, tells Gigi that she's welcome to come there as well. His Mac game ain't I mean, he ain't got no game at all. He's an attractive man, but he doesn't talk much and he's very soft spoken, right? Anyway, so they're off to a good start, the father and son. Remember that because it's important to the story. He and Noah's got a new job as campus security for some university there. He's the head of security. Jacob, Clarissa, they have a moment together where Carissa's saying that this is our happy ending. They're parting ways. This is as good as going to get. So they have a kind of intimate moment kind of thing. But he's definitely, his mind is made up, and I guess now so is hers. Or she's come to accept that it really is done. Then we have a moment. Remember now, we had to wrap everything up in this episode. Really, the season ended last week when Bishop died. That was really the end. This is just the kind of the wrap up, right? Closing some loose ends and things like that. Darius tells Gigi that she should take this job opportunity in New York, or at least go and talk to the people, right? And he tells her that he is willing to come to New York with her. Leave his job, his house. Remember, he got that nice house there as well in Memphis. He's willing to come with her, but that's not a proposal of marriage. It's just to say that I'll follow you to New York, right? Now, here's what I'm going to interject here for a minute. I think because they didn't talk very much about a sequel here, we don't get very many hints at all. We hear something about something coming called Delilah. It was a biblical name, but we don't know if it has anything to do with the Greenleafs. And even though we watched the after show, it's not clear about what a sequel would look like and who would be in it. But my guess is the sequel is going to be with Grace and Darius in New York City. She's going to be an investigative reporter, which means they would have unlimited, material. I mean, you can write forever on current events or investigative, the reports she would be working on, right? He's in the same business. Zora wants to come to New York anyway to be a dancer or something like that. She wants to be on Broadway, but she definitely wants to come to New York anyway. The daughter's going off to college, but that doesn't mean that she couldn't be included in that. My guess is the sequel will be based on Grace Greenleaf in New York City. I don't see any other thing that would, because if they extended it with Lady Mae in Greenleaf, there really wouldn't be a different series. That would be the same, a continuation of what we have now, right? In order to have a totally different series, they would have to have her starting a new life in New York. Just a guess. We'll see. But I want my credit if I'm right. Of course, everything has been slowed down because of this damn corona thing, because none of them can work right now. So whatever they can do, they have to do it, just the writers have to work with it, because they can't really produce anything. Usually it would be like Greenleaf, Queen Sugar, Greenleaf, Queen Sugar, like that. But now it seems like you're going to be missing a whole year out of this thing. Next thing we see is Tara gives the mansion back to the Greenleaf. See, this is something that annoys me. And it annoys me not only in this show, but all fiction. This woman, this poor woman running the soup kitchen downtown, we don't see her lifestyle, but it couldn't be very much, because all she has is this ministry feeding the homeless, right? She is willing to, Mae has decided. Now, Mae and them actually, they have legal rights to this property. It is the Greenleaf's property because it was left to them, regardless of the circumstance. But Mae was going to give the mansion to this woman, this minister lady, because she felt like it was right. It was her birthright. It was in her family. It was her birthright. This is something that Mae came up with. I don't know why Jacob even brought this shit up. But anyway, for this woman to say, no, you keep the mansion and the hundreds and hundreds of acres. Hundreds and hundreds of acres are not even being used. They could at least showed her giving her the land part. So that she could start her ministry on the land. Because they have hundreds of acres. Why would this woman just say, oh, no, you can keep it. I don't want their millions of dollars. They're always doing that in fiction. Everybody's all these strong principles. Oh, no, I don't want the money. Bullshit. Anyway, Tara gives the mansion to the Greenleafs for no other reason. Well, she would have to fight them for it anyway, but if Mabel's going to give it to him, that's something that the women had going on. She said, we call it even. First, she said, Jacob went there asking for 3 months for them to move, have somewhere to live. And then she said, yes, of course. And then by the end of the sentence, she was saying that, no, you keep the house. I don't know why this other woman, the hateful woman, she would be down with it because theoretically, it would be part of her property as well. But the house was left to the Greenleafs. So I guess they would have to use that against that other woman. What was her name? Rochelle. Rochelle, she seemed to find some peace. But she's still evil. Even when she got her answers, she was still resentful and evil. Satan! That was Rochelle. Okay. Then Grace does the same thing. Remember, Grace got left all that money right by her father, who she never knew. He just up and left her millions of dollars. Several million were used to get Bishop out of all his tax problems. But whatever, I guess she still had money left because Bishop wanted to use it to pay her off, pay the other woman off. But now she done signed her money over to her 2 children in trust funds. How you making trust funds, girl? You a young, what is Grace, 40, 45? Anyway, so she said, oh, that money was just evil. Oh, just the dirt of it. I don't want no money. Your money had nothing to do with this other stuff. That was your birthright. Anyway, she didn't give her money away now. So I don't know what Miss Grace is thinking. Y'all should have thought this out a little more because when she hits New York City, she's going to recognize the value of a dollar. You don't just give away millions of dollars and then go to New York City broke, honey. Anyway, she gave her money to her children in trust funds. And we'll get to her in a minute. There seems to be a little energy between Tara. I don't know if it's just him being grateful. You don't want to, I would like a clean break, but it seemed to be a little bit of energy, of physical energy between Jacob and Tara James. A little bit. She shows up at the church where Mae's going to preach. Right? She's free, no animosity. She's coming to hear her preach like everybody else. And she's brought her whole organization with her. Remember, Jacob had a passion for the street people as well. So she's brought her church there, and he's glad to have them there. Okay, let's drop another opinion in the middle of this. This is our last meeting. Maybe if they had more time, they would have wrote it in this way. But I was certain that they were going to have, instead of this woman just giving the church back to Lady Mae or surrendering any rights to it, I thought that they were going to say that there was also a tie to the Greenleaf family, a family tied to the Greenleaf family. I don't know what it would be, somebody's daughter or whatever. So that would be the reason why the lady would have left it to her second heir, right? Just like Mr. James was at the first heir, being her son. I thought that there was going to be a tie to the Greenleaf family, which also would inform us about her second choice. Why, she still doesn't explain why she would give it to him if she didn't know him, she didn't go to the church or nothing. Matt just said, go over there, she just won't give it to anybody. It would have been so simple to just explain that in bloodlines. Anyway, it didn't happen. They only had one episode to pull this thing together. Okay, Mae did her preaching job. Lynn Whitfield did a good job on this. She started off slow, but she preached at the church about new beginnings. God has created a new thing. Behold, all things are become new. She got the church all excited. She got them so excited, in fact. First of all, AJ joined the church. I did predict that last week. I figured that, okay, this was going to be the time when AJ is going to find, he's going to discover faith. He's going to have faith. He's going to give his faith to Christ. This happened in this episode for a little teary moment. But also, she preached some happy so good that now the deacon board wants her to come back and be the pastor of the church. Now, you guys probably know better than me. I know a lot of y'all church people. Y'all probably know better than me. How did this deacon board get so much power over the I know that in the Bible, the deacons run the church. But how they hiring and firing people who built the church? I never got that part. All through this thing, the deacon board has had more power than James, than the bishop, and the Lady Mae. They were able to throw them out, fire them, keep their buildings that they built to the church. They almost lost the church. Anyway, they want her back. Grace overhears them talking after the sermon. She comes and tells Lady Mae, so everything is coming up roses. She can keep her mansion. Grace tells them that Sarah James is not going to fight her for the property. They're even. It's a done deal. Probably they would have lost anyway because the last will was valid. Anyway, Grace tells her, you got the church back. She overheard the deacons. Okay, the last thing we see in here, whole family's gathered on the steps, and they are saying goodbye to Grace Greenleaf. Now, this series opened with her arriving there, right? And what was the statement by Lady Mae? She was telling her, I hope you're not here to sow discord on my happiness or something like that. Well, she used the same statement at the end when Grace is now leaving, and she's saying, thank you for sowing discord on my happiness or whatever. I mean, I'm just paraphrasing. It started with her arriving. It ends with her leaving. She's going off to New York. Technically, she's going for the interview, but it's a friend of hers. She got the job. Okay, so my guess, the sequel will be Grace Greenleaf as an investigative reporter in New York City. All right, people, it was fun. It was a wonderful ride. God bless you, honey.